Hello race fans, this is Anthony with BBSN and we are back for race 4 of the 2018 Scram racing season, and we will be running the Gulf Oil 500 tonight, and that's held from Gulf Coast Motor Speedway in the south. And Gulf Coast is an intermediate track, so this will be a 50-turn race, which will make this a 2-part video. And it does have a repair rating of -1, so it can be a little tough on the cars. And I know I had originally planned to make red, white, and blue racing every 3rd or 4th video on the channel. Now it's turning into every 2nd and 3rd, so thank you Keith Avalone for making such a great game that I can't seem to put down right now. So ready for the race. First off, let's go over our standings after 3 races. And Trevor Trostel, who has been consistent, in fact, he's the only driver on the circuit with 3 top 10 finishes, and he has yet to win a race, but consistency pays off as he is comfortably in the lead here after 3 races with 245 points. Rounding out the top 5 are Vic Holder, the veteran, has also been rather consistent, a couple of top 10 finishes. In 3rd place, Julie Justice, who won last week's race. Carl Snook, another consistent runner. He's got a pole position and 2 top 10s, no win. And finally, in 5th place, Stu Urich. And Urich has a win and 2 top 10s and struggled a little bit in the last race. Other notables, Kerry Cacchiola, who was basically stuck in the bottom group for the first 2 races, finally broke through with a top 10 last week, and that vaults him up to 99 points. KJ Nakashima, ahead of Cacchiola in the standings with 101. He had a top 10 finish last week as well. And other notables amongst the racers, Joey Plonka, 150 points. He's in the top 10. Ray Bob Walker is hanging around there. Wayne Montana had his best start of the season, and initially the plan was to let his rookie driver Cooper Mixon run this race, but after a good outing last week, Wayne has decided to stay in the starting field and attempt to qualify for this race. And Duke approves of that, as you can tell. Going down the list, really no major disappointments at this point in time. Chris Wynn continues his kind of downward spiral. He's actually had a DNQ. And some drivers who are struggling and looking to get in the field for the first time. Nick Fenstermacher is 0 for 3, as is Donnie Schrupp. And Mooch Thomas, one of my personal favorites, the old veteran Mooch, still has yet to make the field here. A couple of changes before we start TV week. Rod Phillips was 0 for 2 in qualifying for the 55 team. So with that in mind, they will go back to their number 1 driver, Scott Steckel, for this week. And also on the 44 team, Lucas Vanover decides to take the week off. And jumping in for him will be the driver whose name I forgot. Holy cow. Preparation. Jumping in will be Justin Naylor, who had an up-and-down rookie season last year, and he hung on as the number 2 driver on the 44 team. He's going to get his first start of the season tonight. And TV drivers, we already had a couple in place. Julie Justice, as is customary, as the winner of last week's race, gets the spot, and Kerry Cacchiola, a special was done on him this week on Roadway TV, basically chronicling his struggles in the first 2 races and the fact that there were maybe a little bit of dissension in Kerry's camp, that maybe he was spending a little bit too much time on the party circuit and not enough time on the race circuit, but he rebounded with a strong finish in last week's race, so that got him a TV spot. And we will see how many more are going to join them. So 6 was the total roll. That means we will only have 4 more TV drivers. So in order, first one, getting the automatic gold trophy, which he already has anyway, Brooks Bilovich, followed by Cam Croyle. So some top drivers, the first 2 spots. Corey Wallace, a non-trophy driver, gets the 3rd spot. and another savvy veteran of the circuit, Marlon McGarry. So these three didn't really need the help, but they'll have the trophy spots, and they will join Cacchiola and Justice up there. So for Wallace, the 29 car, and Cam Croyle. And Croyle, who veteran who's as strong as ever this season. He just really hasn't had that breakthrough race yet. He's been consistent. McGarry, always dangerous. Again, an old veteran. He is a double star. And finally, Brooks Bilovich, a gold trophy driver. Only 3 traits, but he always seems to be in contention as well. So 3 of those 4 are very strong candidates who should benefit from the trophy perk this week. So let's get race week activities started, shall we? As we will roll for our qualifying spots here, starting with Brooks Bilovich. And Brooks. Okay, I have to grab the TV event chart there. So a 65 for Brooks, and Brooks, he's going to give a TV interview. And TV interview is going to be 55. I heard other drivers saying some things about us. I just want to say we won't forget what he said, placement D. So Brooks apparently a little bit distracted there. And that is going to get him placed in the bubble stack, which is kind of a disappointment. So he is number 1 in the bubble stack, and we move on to Cam Croyle. And Croyle, 36, and 36 is going to be hot weekend, hot laps, placement B, and a performance chip, gold or silver driver in placement A. And he is a gold driver, which means Cam Croyle is going to win the pole this week. So Croyle, the 68 car, is our pole position winner and the performance chip. Next up, Corey Wallace. And he's going to look for some magic here. 22 for Corey. And Corey's got a TV event X. So all kinds of interesting things can happen there. 61, appearance on late night TV talk show, and that's going to get him a placement C. So trophy driver gains blue die position in middle group, non-trophy driver placed on top of bubble stack. So he's going to bump in front of Brooks there for that first spot in the bubble stack, and that pretty much assures he will qualify at least. Marlon McGarry. And he's got a 63 there. 63 is going to be pit crew cohesion, placement A plus performance chip. And placement A is going to get the blue die position in top group since the pole is already taken. So he is starting in the 4th spot. And I'm just writing these in the grid as I go. Next up, Kerry Cacchiola. And Cacchiola, 54. And 54 is going to be position or positive fan interaction during race week, placement C. So trophy driver goes to the middle group in the blue die position. That is number 5. So 16th for Cacchiola there. And could be worse. At least he is in the top of the field this time. And Julie Justice, our final TV driver of the week. And Julie has a 62, which will be a sanction issued for minor rules violation, placement D. So trophy driver goes to the bubble stack, and that's kind of a shocker for Julie, the queen of Scram. So that does it for our TV drivers. Next up, we will do our fast qualifiers. And we are going to have only 4 of them, so a sparse week for the best perks. which means we'll probably roll a 12 for the slow qualifiers. So first up, Donnie Schrupp, and Schrupp looks like he's going to make his first race of the season. He gets the next position in the bottom group. So how about that? The 49 car is in at the 20th spot. Good for him. Donnie Schrupp was one I was hoping would do well. And next up will be Wayne Montana, and good thing he chose to drive this week. He's going to get the highest available position in top group, which is second place for the 99 car. Next up, the Alabama badass, Billy Brett, and he had some scrapes in last week's race, but as a trophy driver, he's going to get the highest available position in the middle group, which will be the 8th spot. So the 88 car checks in at number 8, and our final fast qualifier, and another who's going to qualify for the first time, outstanding, Nick Fenstermacher, and his name is going to be fun to announce during the race. I hope he does absolutely nothing, so I don't have to say it that much. He's going to go to the next place in the bottom group, so right next to Mr. Schrupp. And 2 of our non-qualifiers have gotten off the schneid on the 4th race. So now we just hope that maybe Mooch Thomas will join them, and with his luck, and there's only 4 slow qualifiers. So Mooch, he has not had the luck this season, and I just know I'm going to flip him over in this stack, and no, Gary Pine. So Gary Pine is a bronze trophy driver. He's going to go to the next position in the bubble stack. Alex Hodge is not going to qualify, so a DNQ for the 78 car. Can Mooch survive? Graham Pleasant, and Pleasant's going to go to the bubble stack. And our final slow qualifier, is it going to be Mooch Thomas? No, it's going to be Clark Snook. So Snook, he goes to the next position in the bottom group. So the 9 car, a rough week of qualifying, checks in at 22, and hope for Mooch is still alive. So crowds of free Mooch can be heard from the grandstands as qualifying continues. And these drivers, I will just go ahead, actually let me adjust here. All right, so the rest of the drivers. Sonny Swain is going to go to next position in bottom group. So Sonny, a couple of tough weeks qualifying in a row. And Gary Moan is going to go to the next spot in the bubble stack. He's got a shot, and he did not qualify last week. Blake Schlegel is going to join him on the bubble stack. Stu Urich, and Urich is going to go to the highest position available in the middle group, which is the 9th spot for the 56 car. And the dogs are getting pretty excited about this qualifying session as we move on. And Jeff Daly Jr. and Daly, the bronze trophy, he gets, or silver, sorry, he gets the next position in the middle group. So the 63 car is going to qualify in the 10th spot. Next up, Scott Steckel. So the 55 team, Steckel returning for the first time since race 1, goes to the bubble stack. Evan Utek, and Utek is going to get the 11th spot. And a nice bounce back after he failed to qualify last week. And Pete McAtee. McAtee is going to go to the 3rd spot in the top group. And the top group did not really fill up early this week. Chuck Tafaro, and Tafaro goes to the middle group in 12th place, the 30 car. KJ Nakashima, and Nakashima had a very good race last time out. He's going to get the next spot in the bottom group right behind Sonny Swain, 24th spot. Craig Greco, and Greco will get the 5th spot up top, the 66 car. And Mooch, he needs to get drawn soon, as Hartley, Dick Exum's protege. Trevor Trostel, he gets 6th spot up top. So the 6th car in the 6th spot. And Kenny Hicks, he goes to the bubble group. Vic Holder, and Holder will check in the 13th spot. Austin Bigler gets the final spot in the first group, so 77 is in 7th place. So gold and silver will go to the second group now, and Paul Chen and Mooch Thomas is not going to qualify again. Ray Bob Walker gets number 13 or 14. Jordy Pettis checks in at 15, and he's had a couple of subpar qualifying weeks. Sean Hashhagen is in the 26th spot. Chase Fetterman goes to the bubble group. He may slip in, marked 4th likewise, and it's not looking good for Mooch as Kevin Pettis checks in at 27. Jason Leonard, 17th. Parnell Drake, 18th. Come on, Mooch. Tom Rossi, he is going to go in behind Pettis at 28. Mooch Thomas, will it be enough? I do not think so. He goes to the bubble. It'd be awesome if it was, but I'm not holding my breath. And Randy Kendrick gets the final spot, so it's going to make it tough for all those drivers in the bubble group. All the trophy drivers now will go to the last group, and Lonnie Lane checks in at 29. Kurt Bryson at 30. Denny Baker at 31. Yeah, it's going to be tough for Mooch to make it this week. Monica Merrick at 32. Ralph Roach, he'll be out for sure. And Chris Wynn, the 15 car, gets the 33rd spot in the grid. And the youngster, Justin Miller, making his first start of the season, checks in at 34. Joey Plonka, 35. Robbie Petrosky at 36. And at 37, Greg Carl. So we are only going to have 6 drivers from the bubble group make it. And looks like another unproductive week for Mooch. So Corey Wallace, our 2 TV drivers, Wallace and Vilovich, will fill in spots 38 and 39. Julie Justice in spot 40, last week's winner. And Gary Pine, 41. Graham Pleasant, 42. And Marty Moan gets the final spot in the field. So not qualifying, the 83 car, Blake Schlegel. Scott Steckel in the 55 car. Kenny Hicks in the 60 car. Paul Chen in 16. Chase Fetterman in the 98, coming off his first qualifying run. Mark 4th. Our buddy Mooch Thomas, who we knew would not make it. And finally, Ralph Roach will again be excluded from the field this week. So qualifying is done. And let's get to racing. So the flag is ready to go. Race week activities completed. The crowd is in their seats. those who did not drink too much. And speaking of drinking too much, Jordy Pettis finds himself upside down there. All right, first lap of the Gulf Oil 500, and away we go. So right away, we are going to have a duel, and 11 on the duel check. And that is going to be the number 3 cars in the middle group. So in the middle group here, we have Chuck Tafaro and Vic Holder, both of them 4 on the gas pedal check. And Tafaro's got the heat quality, which means he's usually feisty. He's going to come after the Alabama badass Billy Bratt. And I'm not rolling the right dice. Okay, and a 1, he gets it done. So Tafaro wins the duel and gets a performance chip. And now the 2 metallic dice. And no, again, no alteration to escape roll. Repair roll will be -1. So Brett needs a 7. He's not going to get it. He gets collected. So we're going to have a yellow flag right away here. And to survive this, he has a pit of D. First third of the race is an 8 -1, so he needs a 7. And he barely gets it. Back to the back of the pack he goes. And we will be under yellow flag, so everybody moves up. And entering the middle group is our first time qualifier, Donnie Schrupp. And we are on to turn 2. And we're going to be middle group, and a roll of 9 is going to be the reflex check. Q Duran. And Schrupp and Kendrick do not have that. Parnell Drake does. So Parnell Drake looking to move into the top group, and a roll of 5 fails the gas pedal check. Takes us down to Kerry Cacchiola. And Cacchiola, he's going to pass his gas pedal check, and 4th position is a 3. So bonus 2, and Greco does not have the reflex, so Cacchiola overtakes Greco here on the 2nd lap. Takes us up to the veteran Ray Bob Walker, and Ray Bob gets the gas pedal check. He's going for the 5th spot up front, running at Trevor Trostel, and Trostel fights him off with the bonus and the 2, well, he would have to get a 5 or better to pass him. So on to Vic Holder now, and Vic Holder has his eyes on that top spot, passes a gas pedal check. He's going for the 2nd spot, and a 2 on the blue dice. That's going to get it done because McAtee, all he has is the bonus for being in the top group, and racing past him on the inside is Vic Holder to 3rd place. Down to Evan Utek now, and Utek misses the gas pedal check. Denied. Jeff Daly Jr. stomps it to the floor, and he's not going to get it done. Stu Urich is our final challenger from the 2nd group here. He passes the gas pedal check and going for the 5th spot, Trevor Trostel, and a roll of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He's barely going to get that done. Bumping and exchanging some paint, but Trostel is forced to drop back into 9th place as Urich jumps up into 6th. And on to the 3rd turn here. So exciting fender bender action working early here in this race. And so exciting, I rolled the wrong dice. That's twice already. So 5 is going to be the final group, and a roll of 5 is going to be the control check. So starting from the back, the Alabama badass Billy Brett, who got bumped, he's going to try and move back up. And he passes the gas pedal check. And going for the 4th spot, Odd. And 4th spot, Odd, Greco has the brake, so he's going to fend that challenge off. And Marty Moan does not have the control trait. Just set my die here so I know what I'm doing. Marty Moan does not, and Graham Pleasant steps on it, and he gets stuck up by the wall. Does not pass. Gary Pine. And Pine, he's going for that 6th spot, even. And that's going to be Randy Kendrick, and Kendrick has 2 brake pedal, but that's all, so he's going to get passed and bumped back into the third group. As Gary Pine, a nice run there. And here comes the queen of Scram. She's got double control, Julie Justice, so she can make a big move here. Fails the gas pedal check on the first one. We'll try again. This time she's going to get that, and that's going to be the 4th spot odd, Craig Greco, and she will easily overtake him. If at once you don't succeed, floor it one more time. And Brooks Bilovich, going to give it a shot, does not pass the gas pedal check. Corey Wallace does not have control, Greg Carl does, and Carl can't get the gas pedal check passed. Petrosky, no. Joey Plonka drops down near the bottom of the track, and he is going for that 5th spot even, and that's Jason Leonard, who also has a control factor, so he's going to fight him off as a blue die is 1. So Leonard says, no you don't. Justin Mahler, the youngster, no. Chris Wynn, no. And Monica Merrick. I'm going to try and join her close friend Julie up in the second group, and going for the odd on the third. Ray Bob Walker, and Ray Bob, he has control and 2 gas bubble or brake bubbles, bursts, but a 4 is going to get it done, and back and forth they go, and finally Monica slides into 13th place. Denny Baker, no, and Kurt Bryson. Bryson going after the number 1 spot even, and that's going to be Chuck Tafaro, and a roll of 4 will get it done, but Tafaro is going to use his performance chip and say, no you don't. Wags a finger and sends him back. Lonnie Lane misses the gas pedal check. Tom Rossi, no. And Kevin Pettis, the older and lesser regarded of the Pettis brothers, and he's going after the 5th spot even. It's going to be Jason Leonard, who has a control trait, so he'll fight off that 1 on the blue die. And Sean Hashhagen. Hashhagen going after the 4th spot, and odd's going to be Julie Justice, and Julie says, no you don't. She defends her place easily. Aaron Hartley going to give it a go now. And going after the 6th spot odd, and that's going to be Donnie Schrupp, and Schrupp actually is able to fight him off with a control trait. So good driving by our first-time qualifier this season. And KJ Nakashima, a great race last week, fails the gas pedal check. Sonny Swain does not have it, and finally Clark Snook, and Snook does not like the atmosphere back here, so he's going after the 1st spot odd, and that's Trevor Trostel. And a roll of 5, Trostel, the best he can do is 3 to defend, so Snook will move up into 9th place and bump Trostel back to 21st. And finally, Nick Fenstermacher, another first-time qualifier, and he whiffs on the gas pedal check. So that concludes lap number 3. On to lap number 4 we go. And 5 is going to be that last group again, and that will be the skill. So the Alabama badass Billy Brett, and Brett fails the gas pedal check. Marty Moan does not have it. Graham Pleasant does not have it. Randy Kendrick does. And Kendrick going after that 6th spot odd, which is going to be Donnie Schrupp, and he's going to easily pass him. So Donnie enjoyed his stay while it lasted, and that will probably be the last time we see him there. Craig Greco going after the 6th spot even. So Gary Pine, and Pine is going to get passed. But at least he gets to stay next to Schrupp back there. Brooks Bilovich, no. And Corey Wallace does have the skill, and he passes a gas pedal check and going for that 3rd group. And Monica Merrick, and Monica just only has the trait, so she cannot fight Corey Wallace off, who jumps into 13th place. And some good movement from this 3rd group in this round. Greg Carl, no. Robbie Petrosky, yes, and he fails the gas pedal. Joey Plonka. Plonka had double skill, so he's looking to make a big move here. And 3 even. It's going to be Pete McAtee, and a roll of 1 there's actually going to get it done. So Plonka moves up. He's not done yet. He's keeping it floor, dropping down to the inside using his second skill roll. He's going to try and vault up into the 3rd group. He passes the gas pedal check again, going for the 5th spot. And Urek is able to fight him off. 1, 2, 3, 4. So nose to nose they go, and Urek finally pulls back down in front. And that was an exciting challenge. But Plonka still is in 12th place, and Mahler only has 2 on his gas pedal. So obviously we'll be looking for him to just get improvement this season and maybe be a force in the 2019 circuit run. Ray Bob Walker, no. Denny Baker, he's got it. Needs a 3 on the gas pedal, doesn't get that. And Kurt Bryson, 4 or less on the gas pedal, he's got it. And he's going for the 6th spot even, which is going to be Greco. And Greco able to defend his position with a brake burst and the skill rating. Lonnie Lane. And Lane is going after the 1st spot even, which is Chuck Tafaro. And Tafaro's got a brake burst and the skill trait, so he fights him off. So some good back and forth dueling going on here as the drivers try and jockey for position. And Rossi can't pass the gas pedal, doesn't have the trait. Kevin Pettis, that was his role. He did not pass his gas pedal check. Sean Hashhagen does not have it. And Aaron Hartley, the young gun in Exum's team, he is thwarted. KJ Nakashima, no. And Sonny Swain. Scram Darling, and she does not get it done. So finally Trevor Trostel. And Trostel whiffs on the gas pedal check. And Nick Fenstermacher remains in 20th place as he does not have the trait. So we head to lap number 6 here. And finally some action in the top group, and it is not the action they like. Trouble. So hopefully we do not have a complete turnover up front, and Croyle gets the escape roll. Montana does not, so he is collected. Vic Holder is collected, so 1 more up here, and we're going to move on to the 2nd group. McGarry, good. Cacchiola, good. Urich should be good. Oh, barely. And Austin Bigler should definitely be good. So we will not have the big one happen, but both Montana and Holder have to make repair rolls now, or they are going to be eliminated from the race. So Holder has, or actually Montana has an A pit. So with the -1 adjustment on the trouble chart, will be a 10 or less, should be easy. Montana goes to the back of the pack. And we will have a 1-turn yellow on this, by the way. And Vic Holder with a B crew has to get 9 or better, and he is good, so back he goes. And we're going to be under yellow for 1 turn. And being under yellow, everyone will automatically move up. We'll not have to fill in the gap. Whoops, not there. And joining us from the 3rd group, first-time qualifier Nick Fenstermacher. And I have not slaughtered his name yet, which is a good thing. All right, so turn 6 under yellow. Turn 7 is the scheduled pit. And I'm just going to let it go ahead and ride to turn 7. No need to pit early now. So says Cam Croyle. So let's make our first pit stop of the race. And 2 is going to be the top and leader. So first off, 4 and 6 will swap places in both groups. So Snook doing some effortless moving up here. And Strat-O-Matic and Trostel jump up into 14th and 15th place respectively. Now we're going to roll for some performance chips. And 8 or less for Cam Croyle. He's got his second. So our pole position leader, the number 68 car, is in a very good spot with 2 performance chips early in the race, of course. McGarry, he needs a 7 or better. He's got his second chip. Cacchiola 8, he's got 1. Uric has his. Snook. Tafaro needs a 3, so he fails miserably with the slow pit crew. And Bigler has a 9 but does not succeed. So now we're going to see who is going to challenge our race leader, and that's going to be Clark Snook. And Snook, he passes a gas pedal check, so normally there it would be a defense and use his chip to succeed again. So we will see if they decide to retain their chips or use them, and they both decide to use them. So Croyle fends off the challenge for Snook, and we come out of the pits and into turn number 8. And middle group 5 is going to be the control factor or control trait. And Jason Leonard will be the first to check for that, looking to move up into the top 7. And going for the 5th spot, Tafaro. And Tafaro, he's only got 3 to defend, so Leonard's going to be successful and bump Chuck back to 18th place. Next up is Craig Greco, and Leonard could be vulnerable up there. Passes the gas pedal check, going for the 6th spot, Austin Bigler in a roll of 4. So Bigler, just the 1 bonus and control, not going to be enough. So a big move by Greco from 16th to 7th place. And Trevor Trostel. Trostel, 4s all around. And he is going to go for Clark Snook's spot. And Snook has the bonus 2 gas bursts and also a double control trait, so he's going to defend that easily. And you know those two, not the last we will see of them dueling in this race. And Strat-O-Matic, he's going for the 5th spot, passes the gas pedal check. And in the 5th spot is Leonard, and Leonard is going to get passed with a roll of 5 on the blue die. So Strat-O-Matic probably will not be here long, but what a thrill for our first time race qualifier, the youngster, to jump up into the top 7. And Julie Justice, double control here. And as expected, his time is very short-lived. Justice hops up, and she does have the double control, so she's going to try and vault from 6th place right into the lead. And Croyle, he's got the bonus +1 and also the control trait, so he needs a 5 or better, which he's got. Unfortunately, she misses her gas pedal check, and Croyle's lead is safe. Next up, Jordy Pettis, and Pettis going for the 2nd spot, occupied by Cacchiola. And 4 and a 4, and that is going to be enough to get it done, so Cacchiola is going to have to use his chip to fight off Pettis. Next, we drop to Joey Plonka. And Plonka's got the gas pedal. He's going for the 1st spot, McGarry, but McGarry's going to easily defend that and not have to use his chip, and that does it. So turn 9 in the books, or turn 8 in the books, sorry, on to turn 9. And middle group again, and again control. So Chuck Tafaro is going to start this off. And Tafaro, not going to get that done. A 1 is an automatic fail. Austin Bigler looking to reclaim his position. And he'll be going for the 4th spot. Clark Snook, and he's got a 5. Snook, double control, 2 brake burst, and the bonus is a 5. So that's a heated duel there, but Snook fights him off and retains his position. Trostel coming up again. And Trostel this time elects to go for McGarry, and that's going to be good enough to get the pass, but McGarry has 2 chips, so he'll use 1 and say, I like it right where I'm at. Thank you very much, Jason Leonard. Jason Leonard fails the gas pedal check, and up to Jordy Fenstermacher. And Fenstermacher, he's a scrappy racer. He's going after Cacchiola, and a 4. Cacchiola has the control, a brake burst, and the bonus, but Fenstermacher showing some good driving early on here. He's going to get the pass, knock Cacchiola back into 13th place. And again, his time there will probably be very short-lived. And Jordy Pettis is going to get the automatic failure with the blue 1. Joey Plonka going for the 4th spot. Clark Snook, and Snook will easily defend that. And that does it. So on to turn 10. And I think we're going to go, we'll take it to 15 laps and we'll wrap part 1 up there. And this again is a 50-lap race, so this will give us 35 to finish in part 2. So 5 is going to be that last group, and 3 will be the control. So Holder, no. Wayne Montana, yes. And Montana going after a 5th spot here, and Randy Kendrick, and a 4 is going to get the pass there. So Montana back up into the 2nd group. The Alabama Badass, and he fails his gas pedal check. Marty Moan does not have it. Graham Pleasant jams the pedal to the floor and slips and loses acceleration. And Donnie Schrupp, and Schrupp fails miserably on the gas pedal check. Gary Pine, and Pine going for that 1st position. Jeff Daly Jr., and a 4 is going to get the pass for Pine, and he vaults up into 8th place. And Daly is bumped back. Brooks Bilovich, and Bilovich going for the 4th spot. Jason Leonard. And Leonard has a 1 for the trait, but that's all he can manage, and he's going to get surpassed by a topsy-turvy Brooks Bilovich, and Leonard goes to the 3rd group. Monica Merrick, and she has her sights set on Parnell Drake, and it's going to be enough to get it done, as he has nothing to fight her off with. So Drake bump back to the 3rd group and welcome Monica to group number 2. Greg Carl. And Carl is going after Evan Utek, and he's got a 2. So Carl's going to get a pass, move up into 9th place. So a lot of the drivers from the 3rd group making moves here. In lap number 10, Petrosky does not have the skill. Pete McAtee. And McAtee's going after Wayne Montana, and 2's not going to get it done as Montana has a brake burst and the controls trait. Justin Mailer does not have it. Chris Wynn does not have it, and Ray Bob Walker, the old veteran's got it. And he can't get it done. Does not time his gas quite correctly and is unable to move up. Denny Baker, no, and Kurt Bryson. Bryson and 1, he's going after the 3rd spot even. And that's going to be Bilovic, who has a control check, so he's going to fight off his challenge. Lonnie Lane next. Lane fails the gas pedal check. Tom Rossi. And the older Pettis brother. Going to try and make his move here. And he's got the gas pedal, and he's going for the third spot, and that's Kerry Cacchiola. Cacchiola's got a 2 in defense, and Kevin Pettis jukes one way, goes the other. And almost turns it upside down, but he knocks Cacchiola back into the third group, where he spent an inordinate amount of time in the first 2 races. Got way too comfortable back there as Hashhagen goes for the pass now. And the 5th spot going after Austin Bigler, and a roll of 4 on the blue dice will get that done. So Hashhagen makes his first appearance in the upper echelons of the race. And finally Aaron Hartley misses on the gas pedal check. KJ Nakashima, a TV driver last week, and it paid off well for him, but he cannot pass the gas pedal check, and Sonny Swain does not have the control skill. So on to turn 11 we go. And top group skill check. So the skill trait, and Cam Croyle is going to have to face his first serious defense here. And actually we are on the 11th lap, so he has led the entire way and gets a second performance chip, which should help him here. So to pass a skill check, Croyle does not have that trait. He does have 1 brake burst and the 2 brake burst bonus, so it's going to take a blue 4 or better. So if we don't have that, we can just move right on. And Julie Justice, she's going to get 2 cracks at him. And it's only going to take her 1 to pass, so Croyle spends 1 performance chip, and Julie Justice with another go. And even better this time, and Croyle's going to be forced to spend his second chip. Oh, never mind. Skill check, Justice has 2 on control. So we'll just move those rolls over to Clark Snook, who has a single skill check. So Snook would have passed on the gas pedal and would also have done enough to move up. So Croyle will have to spend that second chip, just not on who he thought. Stu Urich, who has a chip to burn here, so we're going to have a new leader. And Urich, he gets it done without any need to use a performance chip. So Urich jumps into first place, and Croyle led laps 1 through 11. We will have a new leader on lap 12. Fenstermacher and McGarry do not get to check, so our new leader is 56 car Stu Urich. As we move into lap 12. And we've got a duel, folks, duel 5, and that is going to be the number 5 car in the top group. That's Julie Justice, and Justice doesn't want to go after McGarry, who has a chip, and she's going to go after the easy mark Fenstermacher. And passes the gas pedal check, so she moves up on the duel and gets a performance chip. And Fenstermacher now has to hit his escape roll, which fortunately is 7. That's fairly decent, but not decent enough. And he's going to be, we are in the second third of the race. No, we're not. So he's still on the first row. He's a B pit. And again, it will be a -1 to the repair trait, so a 9 or better. And hoping the youngster makes it, he does. But he's going to get bumped to the back of the pack. And again, we are going to be under a 1-turn yellow. So everyone will move up. And breaking into the second group from the third will be Sonny Swain, the $1 Million Smile and Golden Locks, and she is in 19th place. So turn 13 will be conducted under yellow. And turn 14. And top group 9 is going to be a reflex check. And the reflex, I'm not going to do it. Gary Pine's going to get the first crack at the race leader, Stu Urich, and Pine fails on the gas pedal check, and down to Clark Snook, and Snook's going to get it done on the gas pedal, and the 6 will complete the successful pass, and Urich will be forced to use his chip, so he defends first place. Cam Croyle up next. And it's going to take another 6 to pass. Doesn't happen. Julie Justice with a performance chip, and she's going to jump into that lead. You know that. Spends a performance chip, and she overtakes Urich. So Urich only leads 2 laps, and we will have a new leader when lap 14 gets underway. And it is going to be Julie Justice, as McGarry does not have the reflex trait. So Justice in first place for the first time today. And our third lead change as we head into turn number 14. And top group again, and 10 is going to be a heat check. And in this case, the mark says use TV on final 4 turns, which is not going to apply here. And the first driver in the top group with the heat check is none other than Clark Snook. And Snook developing a little bit of a rivalry with Julie Justice. And Justice is going to defend that check easily. Cam Croyle wants to regain the lead here. And again, this takes a roll of 6 to even have a shot. And nobody else has a shot there. So we go to turn 15. And checking the timer on the recording. Yes, I'm getting that one more turn urge. And 6 will be a duel. So 10, and that will be the number 4 cars in the middle group. So Trostel and Hashhagen. So first thing we need to do will not be them. We need to switch. So Snook and Pine swap places, and Trostel and Hashhagen actually swap places with Sunny Swain and Monica Merrick. So Swain and Merrick have the opportunity to challenge. Swain definitely not going to with only a 3, but Monica's going to give it a shot. She's going after Greg Carl, and she's got it. So performance chip for Monica, and Carl's going to have to make an escape roll, 8 or better, and he's got that just barely. Gets a little loose up in the turn, but he hangs on and settles into 14th place. And we're going to go to our second pit stop. So turn 16, and the turn after this will be the pit, and then we will call that a stream for part 1. So second group 9 is going to be the reflex check. And we will start with Hashhagen in 19th place. And not too many performance chips on the board, only 2 at the moment. And Hashhagen, he's going after Julie Justice, or Martin McGarry, sorry. And McGarry is going to have to use that performance chip to fend off the challenge, as a blue 6 would have got it done. Trevor Trostel, so no drivers in the top group with a performance chip now. And Trostel going for the 4th spot and a 5. So it will be a 2 defense for Pine with the bonus. So Trostel easily passed Pine and into 5th place. Wayne Montana, he's got his sights set on Stu Urich up there, and a 2 and a 4 on the blue die, and Urich has the reflex, 2 brake burst, and the bonus, so they go back and forth, and Urich's able to fight off the challenge. Takes us down to Greg Carl, and Carl misses the gas pedal check. And Brooks Bilovic, and he is a double reflex check. So Bilovic passes a gas pedal, and he's going after Snook. And a 3 is not going to get it done, as Snook defends easily there. So Bilovic making his second try. And this time he's going right back after Snook. This time he rolls a blue 6, and he's going to get it done. So Snook and Bilovic dueling down the backstretch. Snook looks like he has him held off, and Bilovic jukes inside and slips underneath him, and Snook is forced to fade back into 13th place as Kevin Pettis goes for the top group now in a roll of 1 and a 6, and he's going after Bilovic, and Bilovic has a double reflex check plus a burst and a bonus, easily defends there. So he says, after all that effort, I'm not giving it up to you. And Joey Plonka will be the final check here. And Plonka misses the gas pedal check, so that does it. And we are into the pits on turn 17. And this will be our final turn of part 1 of this race, the Gulf Coast, from Gulf Coast Motor Speedway, the Gulf Oil 500. And a pit is going to be second group 1 and 2. So McGarry and Urich swap places. All right, and now we will roll for performance chips, and again in the second group. So starting with Corey Wallace, and he needs a 3 or better, does not get that. Pettis a 9, and Jordy's got a performance chip. Monica Merritt going for her second, and she's got it. Joey Plonka, 7 or less, no. Kevin Pettis, 6 or less, no. Snook, 9 or less, and Snook picks up the performance chip. Greg Carl, and he needs a 5, and he's got that. 4 or less for Sunny, no. She had some good rolls a couple of races ago, not today. 9 or better for Wayne Montana, he's got his chip. And Chuck Tafaro needs a 3. How does a driver that decent have a 3 for a fast pit? 5 or better for Pine, he does not get that. And Hashhagen needs a 4, and Hashhagen comes up big. So first we will reorganize everyone here. As we prepare to exit the pit. And Snook up into 10th place, and Greg Carl from 14th to 11th. Wayne Montana is going to bump Kevin Pettis back. And finally, Corey Wallace takes a big slide as Hashhagen supplants him in the 13th position, and Wallace back to 19th. And now, let's see who's going to challenge Julie Justice coming out of the pits. Going to be Marlon McGarry, and he needs a 5 or better, and McGarry runs her down, and we have a new leader. So Julie Justice led from lap 14 to 17, and lap 18 it's going to be the veteran Marlon McGarry. And we are going to leave it there. So we'll call that a wrap for part 1. And when we come back, we will be on lap 18 of the Gulf Oil 500, a total of 50 laps in this one. So a lot of performance chips in the second group. So there could be definitely going to be some activity there with folks challenging for the top group. So our race leader, and we've had 4 lead changes. Starting off, Cam Croyle led the first 11 laps. Then Stu Urich jumped in, led 2. Julie Justice led 3. And as we head into lap 18, Marlon McGarry is our new leader. So we will see you back for part 2. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like button. And feel free to leave any comments concerns, criticism, questions, whatever you want to say. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, keep rolling for the finish line, and we'll see ya.